Hi guys, I'm Kristjan from Base Property Specialist, and I'm bringing you our top 3 investment picks from Zoopla this week. So starting off with our initial category, which is up to 500,000. This property on the market with Calmarts in SE1, sort of equidistant between Elephant Castle and Bermondsey. Really caught my eye. So it's not often nowadays that you get a 2-bed, particularly a period property in London for under 500k. I mean, less so within walking distance of a Zone 1 tube station. But as we dig more into this property, it kind of gets more and more interesting. So you've got a ground floor residential space here. All looks in pretty good modern nick. I would probably recommend upgrading the furniture a little bit, but fixtures and fittings look all right. But you've got this vast basement space, which is looking vastly underused at the moment, left very raw. I think that could be invested into a little bit just to make that space a bit more interesting, a bit more useful, and add some more value. And this is around the back of the property. You have 2 allocated parking spaces that come with the property as well. So, you know, all those things combined, if I just bring up the floor plan. So you've got the ground floor space, which you come into the living room. You've got 2 bedrooms at the rear. Looks like there's some skylights in here to pull light in. This is about 80 square meters, which is about 850, 860 square foot. So it is a very comfortable 2-bed space. With access out to the back, like I said, for the car, so you can park around the back and come straight into the property. And then you've got the basement, which is about 41 square meters, so closing in on about 450 square foot, which at the moment seems a little bit basic, the space. So like I said, I feel there's a lot that could be done with that to enhance the value. A few things to point out: it is mentioned as leasehold, but it doesn't give any details on the length of lease, ground rent, service charges. So as always, those are key questions you'll need to be talking about with the agent. Going down to the details, it is currently achieving a rental income of 23,400 per annum, which at the list price is a 7.2% yield. I mean, that's an absolute whopper of a yield. Now, I will be amazed if that doesn't sell for more. It is offers over 380, so I will be surprised that doesn't go for more. But even at 400, 425, even 450, that still seems really good value to me, and still a strong rental income. Close to the green spaces, is a little bit further away from a couple of the tube stations. You've got Bermondsey up over here, and Elephant Castle up over here, so pretty sort of equidistant there. Sort of bus routes are probably going to be your main first thing, but right on the edge of Burgess Park, which is a beautiful park in South London and very popular to live around. So yeah, lots going on that one. So I think that is a real absolute screamer, really. So get in touch with Calmar's Residential. Make sure you verify the leasehold, ground rent, service charge info, etc. Might be good to establish, because it does say the current tenancy, what the terms of that are. Is it a commercial or company let, or is it a standard AST, and what are the contract terms, etc. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of scope to do something quite exciting with that. So that is our property 1. Moving on to property 2, which is in our 500 to 750k bracket, and this new build property listed with JLL in Bow E3 really caught my eye. So unfortunately, they've uploaded the wrong floor plan. The floor plan they've uploaded on there is a 2-bed, but if the data here is correct, it's a 3-bed, 2 baths, and obviously one of those will be a shower room, typically 1 reception apartment, measuring 1,055 square foot, so really good size. Looking through the marketing, the idea is it's going to have this communal roof terrace space for residents. There's also going to be some shared workspace there. There's going to be a residents cafe. So it looks like it's going to have sort of pretty core amenities of what people want. It's all happening in quite a big regeneration area. There's sort of 900 homes being built in here. It's all part of the Olympic Park sort of regeneration. between Hackney Wick and Stratford. I mean, obviously these are pretty generic photos of the marketing suite. From what I understand, every apartment has a private balcony as well, so again you've got that tick in the box for private space. But in the current market, I wouldn't be surprised to see this achieved somewhere in the region between £27.50 a month and £32.50 a month, depending on how the property is furnished and presented. But looking at the amenities and that location close to the canal, you know, easy trip into Stratford or up into Hackney Wick with everything that's got to offer, and Bow's got very good transport links. This all seems like a really good one. It is a virtual freehold 990-year lease. There is help to buy, which obviously for investors, I don't believe you can use help to buy if you're planning on letting the property out. Outside of that, obviously you do need to try and establish what the ground rent and service charges are. Now for a new build, this property is not due to be completed until Q4. Well, we're in Q4, so it should be completed by year end if they're on track. The agent should be able to disclose what the ground rent is. Service charges will probably be more of a guide at the moment. Do take that with a pinch of salt, and do ask your agent what they would typically expect in the future those service charges to be. And again, it depends on the amenities, but a property that size, based on the amenities, I wouldn't be surprised to see service charges of sort of somewhere in the region of £3.5 to £5,000. They may not quote those early doors, you might be quoted lower fees, but long term I would expect service charges to fall in line with those sort of expectations. So obviously factor that in, but at a list price of under 600,000, £566 a square foot, that is a bargain for what is effectively a luxury new build in a big regeneration area. So absolutely get on the phone to JLL, find out some more details, get the correct floor plan off them, and yeah, I would get your bids in fast on that one. And then our final category, which is in the £750,000 to £1 million bracket, this 4-bedroom property over the 3rd and 4th floors. So I'm not sure if it's that unit there or that unit there. It's one of these top 2 ones in Arundel Square. Really caught my eye. Now, some people would think, oh, N7, that's up towards Holloway. This is just on the cusp of N7. So Arundel Square actually sits almost immediately behind Highbury and Islington Tube Station. I say that because weirdly enough, 25 years ago when I first moved to London, one of the first places I lived in was in Arundel Square, which is why this grabbed my attention really. But yeah, you've got Highbury and Islington Tube Station, less than a 5-minute walk, and that sits at the northern end of Upper Street, which is a super desirable sort of thoroughfare with shops, restaurants, cinemas, you name it, good schools in the area as well. So whether you're looking at sort of social attractions for professional sharers or essential amenities for a family, either way this is going to tick the boxes in a big way. Going down here, currently a 4-bed 1 bath, so a little bit short on the bathrooms, but if you bring up the floor plan, it's a decent square footage, over 1100 square foot. Yeah, you might want to play around with the layout. I mean, I will get to the photos in a minute. I definitely think it needs a bit of a cosmetic overhaul to modernise it. Part of that, I would definitely recommend opening out the kitchen to make this open plan, make it feel bigger, larger, brighter, and definitely more modern. But you've got this beautiful, this is pretty much floor to ceiling glass along here with a little terrace / balcony overlooking the garden square, which is a pretty stunning view, and that's a residence square, so traffic is going to be minimal. And then on the floor below you've got 3 bedrooms. Now there is an argument about, do you maybe rework this into a 3-bed with 2 bathrooms and go a little bit more high end? I actually think you probably won't see a massive difference in return to whether you keep it the layout as it is and up spec it a little bit, or rework the layout and go a bit more luxury. I think you'll probably see a similar income, because it's just about what market you appeal to. But if we jump through the photos here, I mean, you've got this amazing light you're going to have in this flat. Like I said, my preference would be to open this all out and make this a big room, make it feel a lot bigger. This kitchen being enclosed is quite old fashioned. It's got quite an old fashioned sort of farmhouse style kitchen in there. So I'd definitely be in favour of a cosmetic refit. But the bedrooms look decent size. The bathroom, again, basic. For the market and the rents I think you can achieve on that. I think it's a little bit lackluster, but what a beautiful space to overlook, and what a fantastic green space to have right on your doorstep. There's also a really good little children's playground set up there as well, if you do have a family move in. So all the rooms look pretty decent sizes. That is the smaller 4th bedroom, but that still looks very workable, and far from a box room that some would be worried about. Like I said, kitchen, yeah, I would be opening that out and using that skylight to pull light into the main living space and just making that living space the best it can be. But you just saw just then a little hint of what's trying to bring up the there we go. So you can see it's got a decent sized children's playground in here, as well as these huge resident gardens. So yeah, I think this has got a lot going for it. I wouldn't be surprised to see that property achieve 4,000 a month or more if presented right. And that's regardless, like I said, of whether you go for just a sort of refresher spec on the current layout or really rework that into what I would consider a luxury 3-bedroom property. But either way, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see rent at 4k and above, if done right. So yeah, those are our 3 picks for this week. 3 really interesting properties, all really strong yields. If you like what you see, get in touch with the agent. I don't think any of these are going to be hanging around too much. They're all new to market. As always, make sure you're verifying the leasehold, the ground rent, the service charge information. Make sure you're understanding, are there any caveats or any restrictions that might impact you as a landlord. But other than that, I think these are all really good prospects with good long-term capital appreciation and desirability. So yeah, if you like what you see there, get in touch with the agent, get the details, get your viewings in, get your offers in, build that portfolio. Thanks for your time this week, guys.